I am Professor Lee Byung-chul. Good to see you. We're building a metaverse platform on our hospital, and many people are paying a lot of attention, but actually realizing this is very difficult. So I would like to share how we have built it, and I would like to share know-hows. How the procedures were and how the status quo. I'll talk about it. So a lot of people are paying a lot of attention in metaverse. So the industries are paying a lot of attention, and especially in the medical fields, uh, they are seeing a lot of potentials. And our medical center has 5 hospitals, so it's a very big medical center. And we usually have a decade based plan, and we have a mighty Halim vision announcement. We had one recently, an AI, cancer, and smart diagnosis, among other high technology, are systematically built. So we are realizing this vision, and by in 2021 we added metaverse to this vision. So we're propelling this plan, and we're at the Metaverse Alliance, and we have a task force of medical center metaverse and many medical corporations. We're conducting discussions. So under the field of medicine, we discuss how we can efficiently adapt this technology to metaverse, and what kind of value does metaverse bring to patients. That is also a point of interest, and how more effectively the medical staff or faculty members can make use of this metaverse platform, among other questions, are being discussed. And at our medical center, there are two key items here. On the left is Burn Children's Hospital, so where patients and parents and faculty members can, on the metaverse platform, implement various plans and operate a lot of treatment programs. And on the right, this is Halim Universe. This is rather than for patients, but it's for faculty staff members, where they can experience virtual reality here. So by using these two different platforms, we create more value. So that is why we're running these two. So when it comes to virtual conferences, nowadays it's a really big thing, and we were planning metaverse because of the COVID-19. Now we are feeling more need to implement this, so that's why we're running this. And the Zoom platform has a lot of limitations. People have limitations, spaces and or time constraints. So there are realistic limitations that you have to expose yourself in front of others and keep speaking. So we wanted to cover those weaknesses with our metaverse. So the Children's Burn Hospital is like this. If you take a look, this is a 2D graphic based platform, and you may know that you can move around in the 2D universe. And if you join here, just like Zoom, you can see other people's faces and have discussion. So I would say this is a midpoint of a perfect transition to the metaverse. But there are people who do not really want to expose their faces, so this is an alternative. So patients and parents can participate in this burn hospital, and other preschool teachers can also participate in this platform. And if you have the internet, then it's really easy to access. Like the program is really easy to use, and you can meet others on this platform, so it has a lot of strengths. Our medical center from the past, we have been paying a lot of attention to patient oriented programs. Like we opened flea markets, among others. And if you take a look at the down left, if you get burned, it's a disease where you can't just dismiss from hospital and go back home, but you need continuous treatment. So even after treatment, you need plastic surgery, and you have to rehabilitate, and so it has to go on. So it takes 2 or 3 years, and during the process, you have to go to the hospital and go back home and back and forth. So children their academic studies lag behind because of getting treated. So the guardians, they also have to take care of their children, so they find a lot of difficulties. So we wanted to solve this question. So if you take a look at the down right, so our hospital is running this foundation in partnership with the hospital. So why don't we build a hospital school where those people can participate in these school programs and study. And during the time, those parents can take a rest from child caring. So that is the uh, value. But if they go back home, then probably they'll lose the access to this education. And because of COVID, where there were a lot of difficulties, so we knew that those children, patients, had difficulties. So how should we keep working on this? So we propelled this metaverse platform to solve those questions. So the Gather Town is for patients and their guardians. So when we built this, we have a lot of professional and advanced content. So for those visitors, could get a lot of information on the metaverse platform and those guardians, and when those patients leave hospital, they can still get information through this metaverse. So in the past, we have been working on this actually offline face to face. However, because of COVID, we couldn't. So we made use of this metaverse platform to make it possible again. So our metaverse platform is to build communication with our local community, and we get feedbacks from those customers. So this is the hospital's content. First of all, is before getting burned, like burn prevention, education. So through those preschool teachers, we train them so they can educate children, and afterwards, when they get a burn, then they can visit our hospital. The procedures of treating burn. So usually they don't have any information at all about treatments, but so they can get trained and educated about burns. So this is really helpful for patients and their guardians. And post management measures like rehabilitation or skin management information, and then consultation service or like commuting to hospital, among other content is used so that they can learn and see and use those measures. And this is the venue of the metaverse. If you take a look at the left, you can see that on the corner left bottom is where you see when you access the metaverse platform. And you can pass the entrance, and the brown building is the anniversary hall because we recently had the 50th anniversary, so you can get information about the history and our development so that patients can get information about it. And if you enter the hospital, as you can see on the right, you can see the hospital lobby, the auditorium, consultation room, exhibition hall, or classroom, or playroom. So when you access a gather time for the first time, people often get confused. So we just decided to show this bird's eye view so that patients or visitors can easily know where buildings are. So they can participate in, or they can just visit those exhibition halls to see various content information. So we have a 4 week based programs, and first of all, week one was the 50th year anniversary. So it was a very big event. However, because of the COVID-19, we had difficulties having offline um, event. So we used this platform so that all the faculty members could join on the online metaverse, and then Burn Experience Journal Concert, among other festivals. On week two, was the training education week for patients and their guardians when they go back to their local community. Compared to where all the burn patients were gathered together at the hospital, instead, when they go back to the ordinary society, they have a lot of difficulties. So they find it even more convenient, comfortable to be with other burn patients. so they can relate to each other and share their experiences. So under our hospital's program, they were able to do so, and we provided safety information program, and we also had a press conference where we invited journalists to experience this virtual hospital. Week three is the week of dream and hope. So we provided this art school. We gave arts therapy or other consulting, and week four, and we all had a flea market. In the past, we used to have a flea market, however, because of the COVID, we couldn't. But thanks to this metaverse, we decided to do so, and also we held a lot of exhibitions. So if you take a look at this slide, we created non-face-to-face communication platform, and we provided burn medical service and ESG management. This is the 50th anniversary event where a lot of faculty members participated here to be part of this event. So instead of seeing each other offline, face to face, but rather on this platform, we wanted to celebrate this event on the metaverse. Second is a journal exhibition written by mothers of burned children. So they drew art pieces or their journals based on their experience or inspiration. So those mothers shared the experience so that they could relate to each other. Next is homecoming day of burn patients. So there are many people who left hospital after getting treated, but they came back to this metaverse platform to share their past experiences. So it was a very warm event for the participants, so that where patients could relate to each other and felt better. Next is metaverse-based art therapy. Patients they find it difficult to go around, walk around in the public, so they found hope from this platform. And we also have supporting program so that they can go back to their local community. So we run a lot of different programs. So they all exist on this Gather Town platform in different rooms of the platform. Next is our ESG management. And we also conducted a special education through preschool teachers based on this yes or no quiz game. And there are a lot of misunderstandings about burns, so we provided education, and they found it really interesting, and they wanted to get receive another education session. So we almost failed to conduct this because of the COVID-19 pandemic. However, we decided to open a flea market. So there were constraints being online. However, we successfully um, ended this. So and we donated the revenue to patients. And we did receive a lot of positive feedback. And we wanted to expand this specialized content. So there are a lot of education, counseling, or art therapy which do not necessarily have to be conducted face to face. So we can overcome those physical constraints. So a lot of burn patients prefer this online platform. Next is Metaverse Halim Universe. This is another platform named Ditto Land. This is a 3D based, so it's more complex, but you can realize more functions. So we create various games, so those university or faculty members can experience this. And so far, we haven't completed it, but it's still working on, and we are planning to commercialize this in the second half of this year. So we are planning to keep working on it. And through this, we will provide this experience. So we're planning to receive feedback, and if it works out well, then probably other content could also use this metaverse platform. And here, we're running a lot of different programs, so we accumulated a lot of know-how, and we learned what kind of specific things that patients find it comfortable to use. So we created an opportunity for communication and harmony. So even after the COVID pandemic, I think we will keep working on this metaverse platform, so that patients and guardians can get a lot of value from this. But limitation is that a lot of people still haven't experienced this. So there are many constraints that cannot be realized by metaverse platform. So we have strengths and weaknesses. And after the COVID, if people return to face society, we're not sure how many people will still want to this. So we need a lot of improvements so that we can bear more fruits on this metaverse platform. But the Korean government is willing to keep supporting this field. So I think we will have positive results. So based on our various content, we will innovate this digital world, and we are keep putting our efforts on this. Next slide, please. So by using this metaverse platform, and we will diversify those different digital technologies, and in the long term, we will provide services to overseas patients and or open branches overseas as well. So we will keep working on this till 2028. So next slide. Thank you.